and just sitting on this couch listening to flute music. Really, yeah, it's what led to just me getting past something that was really affecting my family and definitely affecting me, you know.
Perfect. Well, we are back, baby. We are back. Episode 8. It's been a hot minute. It's been a while. We've been holding off for a little while because we wanted to have a little bit of a break. We've had Christmas, we've had New Year. We're now in spring, the equinox. I've got my man Mark, and we've got such an amazing speaker for you guys, Andy Hnilo from Alitura Naturals. That we've been trying to get this guy for so long, and we would hold off, and it had to be right. And here we are. We're in the midst of spring, and the man, the myth, the legend, who is kindly just joined us today on this amazing podcast. I'm so excited for this. I'm trying to contain my excitement.
Don't contain it, brother. Let it out. Let it
go.
I
am. Andy, welcome to Revitalize Your Life. Thank you so much for coming on, dude.
Dude, it's an honor. It's an honor. I've been looking forward to this too. I apologize. I'm the worst. You know, things get busy, but here we are, man.
Yeah. Chat, tell the listeners as well, where are you dialing in from? It's a magical place.
Oh, Sedona, Arizona.
Yeah.
The sacred vortex that is Sedona, Arizona. Please, listeners, Joey, Mark, come visit. We got downstairs, whole floor to yourself. I mean, this changed my life. It's everything and then some of what they say about the vortex. That's a whole other episode right there. But yeah.
No, dude, you can go into that vortex as much as you want. We're very much like that. So don't worry. You can go into all of that stuff. That's absolutely fine.
Okay. All right. Man. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. And well, Mark was the first guy to introduce me to Alitura. And we met on our function. Well, the listeners obviously know, but Andy, just so you know about us, is we met on a functional medicine course here in the UK with the company called the Institute of Health. It both had like a profound impact on our lives and our businesses. And yeah, me and Mark just hit it off. We're very similar. We've all got our quirks, but yeah, we just hit it off like a lightning bolt, didn't we, dude? Mm-hmm. And Mark was the guy who actually introduced me to your company. He smelled amazing. Like he was wearing Alitura presents. And guys, we're going to go into all this stuff because it's going to be a beast of a podcast. But yeah, Mark was the guy who introduced me to your stuff, and I was like, dude, you smell amazing, without sounding the other way. What is it? What are you wearing? This is nuts. And proceeded to tell me that this is Alitura presents. This is all natural, like aftershave. It was aftershave, right? Yeah.
It's like a cologne. Yeah.
Cologne, yeah. And you can correct me and like get me on the straight with if I've got spoken incorrectly on the product, but it was amazing. And like I just had to like find out like where Mark got it from and where I could get it and where I could smell amazing. And dude, I found you and I found your whole company and your journey, and it was just insane. And I think it was I actually listened to a podcast with you and Dave Asprey, I think it was. And it blew my mind. And I was like, I have got to get this guy on our podcast one day if we ever have one. And we did. And Mark, thank you so much to you, because using your products, Andy, is absolute game changer. Like we don't have anything like it in the UK. And without giving too much away, because we're going to go into all this, because I don't want to take all the limelight. I want to hear about your journey, Andy, and what made you create it, and everything that is happening right now with the products, and without giving too much away, I'm, as you can tell, I'm an excited little puppy here.
I guess we should probably start from the beginning then. So for the listeners that don't know Andy's story, Andy, please, the floor is yours. Tell people your journey, how you got from where you were to starting the company. And my mind, being a formulator as well, I love your formulations and how you put it all together and how you pick each individual thing and make it so unique. So please share that journey for everyone that's listening.
Oh, thank you. What an honor, man. It is to be here. So the true journey starts back to reading labels. When I was an athlete in high school and I had to gain weight, I was 166 pounds, like 6'2", 6'3", just, lean, on the borderline of skinny, but being an athlete, and wanting to play professionally. I was a baseball player, excelled in football as well. But I moved on a baseball scholarship to UC Berkeley, played in the Pac-10. So, going over there with like full grown men out of high school in the locker room, I had to step it up in the weight room. So I just did the math. I mean, protein, fat, calories. At that point, it was just complete disregard for eating health, but I learned the hard way, and I'll explain why. Just the key was I was on creatine for the first time, dorm food, burgers, cheese, soft serve ice cream. Just the key was getting those calories up. Yeah. Couldn't wait to get 5,000, 7,000, 9,000. Like that was a victory for me. And I put on 23 pounds and it was great. But my back acne, let me tell you, I had to change with my back to my locker because if I turned around, the teammates are just the worst. You know what I mean? But it's catalyst moments like that that'll make like crippling, situations which involve, and I had cystic situations where they pop up like mosquito bites, and it's the first thing you see in the morning, and it starts your day off on the worst foot, dude. Yeah. And so on an off day in Berkeley, I was just walking around Shattuck Avenue. I went into this little herbalist store, and I bought my first supplement aside from creatine. It was this Flora was the brand. FLORA is an aqueous silica horsetail extract, and like an amber jar. And I started taking a couple a day because I was kind of put to school on ingredients. And I just, I switched from. I had a long conversation with this gentleman and just kind of went through nutrition, the importance of clean ingredients, eating whole foods, which a college coach down the road emphasized too. So I knew there were these little beautiful breadcrumbs all around my life to stay the course in certain things, if that makes sense. But first one was, heavily marketed brands. That's all I thought to use was like, the things I saw, solving problems. Oxycutum, right? OxyClean, Neutrogena, Clearasil, just the bigger brands that were heavily marketed that were just, destroying my microbiome, infusing toxic chemicals onto your largest detoxifying organ. Why would we ever do that? But I mean, obviously back then, 23, 24 years ago, I didn't know that. But switching from those down to a Dove bar soap that had 5 ingredients. 2 of them were coconut-derived surfactants. And seeing that like triggered something inside of me as like natural or better. It just made me feel good seeing that coconut-derived area in the ingredient deck. I mean, I was 18, but the fact I was even thinking about it, thank God I met that gentleman. But I was using it from head to toe. I was still using Pert Plus or whatever, but that's the thing. Like my face cleared up, back acne cleared up. Hey, no more tank tops at pool parties, right? No more tank top in the ocean. You know what I mean? What a victory, seriously. So that's why I just love to be able to provide an authentic account of many different, situations where I was that just kind of, kept me as a shell of myself. That once you break through that, and if it's through a product and if it's through information, through a beautiful angel on earth kind of telling you what a gift to listen and to learn and implement and trial and error and just find out for yourself on your own and maybe some friends and people you don't even know. Just take what you want and leave the rest. We can learn so much from other people, and from that changed how I felt about myself. It built my confidence, and then. So I was into it. And so Dove had a night cream with CoQ10 and rosehip. I specifically put CoQ10 in my night cream because of that moment. And I'm talking, that was decades ago. But it's also very, very good for the mitochondria of the skin cells. So I became fascinated with pure products. And I'm telling you, from 1920, 20 years old, got my first bentonite clay mask. It was Aztec healing clay. Used that as like my secret weapon. That like when it dried, and I would just look at my face, the brightening, the stagnant capillaries around my face. I didn't know this back then. I just like how I looked and felt afterwards, but I would do that, started 2021. And I'm now 43, about to be 44. I mean, I don't think I've missed a week or two without a mask. I was thinking about the other day. I wonder if I've done the most clay masks in the world, at least in the past 20 years. I'd put myself up there. I mean, I'm talking sometimes 5 days a week. But anyway, so I had that one ingredient. I was using other cleaner products. I had a cleanser, a scrub, and that one mask. And I'm talking 2021. And now so I had my skincare covered. I forget what I was using for hair. Now I'm using Dr. Bronner's, but I was just the ingredients, grab and turn. It's just, I was locating, even things like thankfully the dyes just never made sense back in the day too. And so I the knowledge and indefinite interest, and guys will give you the worst time. I kind of hit it on the side. You look good, you feel good. Before you leave the door, you're going to be consistent, to everyone you meet, personally and professionally. What a gift, right? To have mechanisms to set the tone so you meet the world in your best space. And like skincare is just one of the things. I mean, I do a lot of breath work and take care of myself physically, but I like being my best self to first impressions worldwide. You know what I mean? You get one chance to make that. So it's very important to me. And so I like, how I felt, and the interest, kept growing. I was in the entertainment industry for a while. And then March 20th, 2011, I was crossing the street, got hit by a westbound heading vehicle, hitting the eastbound lane, run over by a Tundra. Both cars pulled over, got my clothes cut off me in the middle of the street. I was coming in and out of consciousness. And then shuttled off to Cedars-Sinai ICU, where I woke up on a morphine drip, and it was just kind of like out of it. And I had a friend in the hospital, in the ICU room with me, and they were just like, no, don't stop, because you're not supposed to talk because the particles, they want to like do their best to piece everything back together. I got a titanium plate up top, one on bottom that I removed in the following November. That was just as big of a recovery as well. Because I didn't want titanium on my bones. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want to get those removed. Thought that would be easy. A whole new recovery. Anyway, I'm glad they're out. But so once those were removed, now hold on. Let's go back to while they were in there with no front teeth, smiling, having to hide your smile for months, man. That does something to your brain. You know what I mean? Like not wanting to mitigate a moment of joy because of how you look. You know what I mean? I'm glad I went through all of this. It's a trip when you look back, because I'm truly a happy person, man, and very grateful. Just very, gratitude is the key to all that. But so I had when I got out of the hospital, the nurse was a former Marine. He's like, hey, I just want to tell you, shook my hand. He's like, hey, any day you can walk out of the hospital, it's a pretty good day, man. Good luck on the rest of your recovery. And that really, I was like, that's a really, because you're unrecognizable, you banged up, but I'm walking. I'm not in a wheelchair. My family's here, my sisters, my mom and dad, brother. Like, it's very rare that we're all in the same room, especially a 660 square foot mini living room. They're eating pizza. I'm over there on my like Ensure shakes, jaw wired shut, just coming, because I take my medicine to just pass out again in recovery, or, recover, get up, say hello. I was just kind of, a little bit of a zombie, but I was, excited because the family was around. There's a ton of love there that I needed. Mm-hmm. But when they left, man, for some reason I had this weird, like, positive outlook. Like, I wasn't down. I looked in the mirror. That was horrifying, but it wasn't as horrifying as you'd think. Like, because I was alive. Like, people don't survive those accidents. So I just kind of, took things into account, and trusted the process. My bones would grow back together. I had 7 broken ribs too. Oh, that was a nightmare, because building those back, they had this little machine where you got to breathe and like expand the lungs. And Sneezing was the worst. Felt one coming on. But I had that mask. And so I just started, right? And then you go on walks when the sun goes down, and then swelling a little bit. You're looking for these incremental improvements every day. And so I knew another way that I was going to build the system back was through a good tonic that I could make. And I was a health freak before. So I had a tonic, but I wanted to make that a little bit better. So I went around town, went around LA to Dragon Herbs, Air One, Jaw Wired Shut, right? So keep in mind these awesome tonic, Sage Dammers, Truth Calkins, Crosby Ware, Bless Your Hearts. Just picking their brains of, explaining my situation, Jaw Wired Shut, but also trying to get information on ingredients that could help, mitigate inflammation, get the impurities out of the system. Because I was on antibiotics, and X-ray, CT scans. I was just a little bit of a zombie, and I wanted my zest back, right? And so I built this morning tonic that was really elaborate, and I posted that a while back. Maybe I can throw that up. I mean, it had bison liver, egg yolks, pearl powder, Hoshu Wu, gynostemma, astragalus, ashwagandha. I could keep going, like a million amino acids. It tasted horrible, but I did it every morning, and that thing really regenerated my system. It was the only way I got nutrition in. And I stayed with that because I recovered pretty quickly. And I just started doing that I have a modified version of it now without the egg yolks and bison liver, although I still do those just separately. And I just started experimenting with some of the ingredients that were so good internally. I'm like, well, let's experiment with them in the mask. At that point, I think I had 3 clays, kelp powder, vitamin C, and it was just kind of trial and error. A lot of things didn't work. But from those ingredients, but man, I call it the divine 9 that did. The pearl powder was one of those ingredients that I experimented, break open the capsule, throw it in the mask. Incredible. What I did to make sure these were legit is I isolated them, spot treated, added water, seeing the particle size and the texture and how it reacted with my very sensitive skin. And then I'd add them in. It took forever. I had nothing but time, right? And I was just kind of going back and forth. Never had intention to turn this into what it is now. I was just trying to heal myself, get back in the industry. And I really felt that I knew the magic of the clays. And then if I could make it a little more nutrient dense and provide a little activity, what a bonus, right? And I feel that it did, because the first 4-hour milking grass-fed colostrum with the IGF-1 growth factor components and just how nutrient dense it is, how mineralizing the clays are, the pearl powder with creating that even skin tone and porcelain-like softness. I don't know. It's just like skin like glass is the best way to describe it for me. And added a little ascorbic acid, vitamin C, one of the best components, ultimate antioxidant. And I had like this superfood meal, mineralizing meal for the skin that all makes sense. This is such a trip to look back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the what and why. I'm so glad because I would not change a decimal point of any of my products. But I'm just grateful, seriously, that I found, because I had a lot of, asked a lot of questions, there were a lot of people before me that were amazing, living libations.
I remember those guys.
Eminence, you got to pay tribute to the elders and respectfully. And so I learned a lot, but also a lot of trial and error. Like I hadn't seen pearl powder used before topically.
No.
I think we were one of the first with copper peptide. I think we were one of the first with astaxanthin. And I think we were one of the first with colostrum. So, and really, I just, when I was, interested in healing myself with like a liquid, hydrator, I couldn't find a product without some type of hole. Like a hole to me, meaning glycerin in the top 5 ingredients, unorganic. And then usually a couple alcohols after the water, glycerin, alcohol, and then a stabilizer. There was no poetry behind it. My favorite product was this ancient Egyptian magic, 5 ingredients: propolis, royal jelly, extra virgin olive oil, beeswax, honey, I believe. Anyway, amazing, right? So what I did is I just reverse engineered that, and then would order the raw components, melt down the beeswax. I had this chunky paste, which is now my night cream. But I really was. I was ordering plant-derived stem cells, and then learning about the water side of things, and kind of creating my own little night cream in my little 660 square foot apartment to follow the clay mask is like my little nutrient dense paste that would hydrate and condition the skin post exfoliation from the mask. And so this is all 2011, 12, 13, started to get back within that first year. I was back in the entertainment industry working. What a gift, right? I mean, seriously, wow. I was unrecognizable. People were saying I'd never, what are you going to do? You're going to sue the city. Pedestrian has the right of way. My mailbox was like full every day from lawyers wanting to get me to sue the city. I felt that was the wrong thing to do. And I believe karma played a big part in where Alitura is now. And because I believe it was my fault. And I just, man, what a dream, dude. And just, that clay mask, just staying consistent with it, and then getting the wires out, building yourself back internally through getting a victory back in the industry that everybody told you wouldn't be in, working more than I was before. I booked the Oakley Global campaign. Like I followed, I think, Ashley Green or Sean White to me or whatever. Like, who am I? But like that was a huge victory that I just needed, you know what I mean? And just, you build on that. Confidence is everything, and believing in yourself is key. So I just, I wanted to thank Dave Asprey, because I started drinking coffee. My friend John Baker was with the Chicago Cubs at the time. He introduced me to bulletproof coffee. And I mean, never drinking coffee to bulletproof. I'm already pretty, dialed, high energy as it is. But like that really locked me in and motivated me to get out of bed and just get in the best physical shape. And ideally, the whole goal was to get in better shape than I was before the accident. It was a big catalyst moment looking back, and like, I just felt I was underachieving in life. Although I had momentum in modeling and acting, I just, my purpose is I just feel to help people feel better about themselves. I mean, because it does something so deep, like it affects me too in the best way. Like I love it. I truly do. Like it ignites something. When you make somebody else smile, or like it's a feeling, there's like some type of frequency when you know they feel good after a true, whatever it is, man. You open a door for someone, you give them a true compliment. It's nonstop. Like it just, air it out if you can, because you never know whose day you're going to make. So I just, man, I troubleshoot back to that. I troubleshooted Dave's email address, like d.asprey, dave.asprey, david@bulletproofexec.com, like 10 different combinations, copy pasted the same email before in the ICU and then after, and like Men's Health Magazine going, dude, you got me back. Never drank coffee before. Wow. But love your attention to detail on single origin cacao pods and all that. It's like, me too, like I just, I wanted his mission and ingredient integrity, and just his detail, resonated big time with me. So one of those went through. His EA got back to me. I was an ambassador. Like, what a victory. Wow. I got the products for free. I could barely import them in the first place. So like I was doing the mask, drinking my coffee, and just posting in my recovery back in the entertainment industry. And I guess and that was good. That was good. Victory. But as EA reached out to me and went, hey, we'd love to have you on Bulletproof Radio. And keep in mind, guys, like I was the guy tweeting Dave, just trying to get the because I just, I looked up to him. Yeah. And, so that day, February 1st, 2014, just super nervous. Luckily, I broke through that and just started flowing on my truth. I really did use his products and look forward to using them. And they generated something inside of me that turned into a predictable energy every morning, but followed with like a deep, true gratitude of being alive and back. What a gift, right? Oh man. So, but then he asked, just talking about his products, talking about life. And then, towards the end, because we didn't discuss skincare and what I was doing beforehand. And he's like, it's a video podcast. And I'm sure a lot of people out there would like to know what you did for your scarring and abrasions, because he saw that before. And so luckily I started flowing on the ingredients. I didn't have a company name or website or anything like that. Just when this aired, I think I gave out my personal email address or something, but like, man, what a moment. Like every time I refresh my Yahoo browser, it's just beautiful people from all around the world sharing really sweet things. And then also, wanting to know where they could get this mask. And so I'm like, what? So you got to come up with a price, right? And then $35 free shipping, and then packaging. I was going to Whole Foods, those clear snapshot containers. Yep. They don't sell those. I mean, they're for like olive oil, peanut butter, almond butter. So I grab a stack, bring it to the front manager. It comes up, I'm sorry, sir, we don't sell those. And I like it. Dude, this is passion. They came up with the price on the spot, 15 for the lid, 15 jar. I was going there weekly, buying like 50 at a time. Every time they had to come over and approve the pricing. At that time, I also had to come up with a name. My friend was working for Netgear. So first name was Golden Glow, both G's capitalized, no W, all one word. I'm so glad I didn't go with Golden Glow. And then we went back to the drawing board. Alitura is Latin for feeding and nourishing. So your skin being your largest organ, it's important to treat it like another mouth. Looking back, the name change was huge. But so, you build a website. I didn't, but my friend Eric and I were working on that. And then you just like stay on top of your orders. You have a product, you know what I mean? Like the whole beginning, obviously I had to adjust the pricing a little bit because those, I didn't know my cost of goods. Those containers are 16 ounces, right? So our mask now is 7.1. So I was giving out a pound, and our cost is, very expensive. It was more than, it wasn't more than the actual retail price, but it was close. And then when you ship, $23 to Sweden, I thought I was like, what? Living the dream, and I'm losing money shipping it out. We had to adjust the pricing a little bit, but it's those beautiful bumps in the road that, just happen. You're ignited by the euphoria of living your dream or purpose, or just having something to do every day, purpose, So, Dave was getting, because we had a couple other podcasts, and then Dave was getting a lot of like, hey, what's going on with this? And, Dave and I kind of, we met, he flew down to LA, we met and partnered up, had a product in his store June 26th. But like, it was cool. It was a nice compliment to his, coffee supplements and superfoods and things like that. Is like his first bulletproof approved skincare product. So, truly, I owe, and I remind him of this all the time, a little too much. I wouldn't be here without Dave. Yeah. And I just am extremely grateful for the opportunity. I mean, come on. I didn't have a chemistry degree. A lot of people said no because, for a couple of years, I was going around, thought I had something. I was like, hey, look what it did to me. And it just, a lot of, but during that time I was tinkering the formula. It was intense. So I cut the kelp powder, cut the vitamin C down, dialed it down. It was a little, it was intense. So you cut down the scent a little bit and make it manageable. And then you cut down the activity because it was super brightening from the ascorbic acid. And then you just finally fine tune it to a perfect consistency that's evenly spread throughout. It's not like we're just throwing in little amounts of these ingredients. It's really evenly spread with a high concentration of all of the ingredients. That's what makes it great. And the particle size, the emulsion, the synergy. I just am very grateful that that I was put in this situation to heal myself and then just provide a true account that can help others. 11 plus years later, man, we are still starving for more. I love this thing, man. So that's long story, not made short. I apologize.
No, dude, that was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it goes to show that there was something divine working through you, through all of that, something guiding you clearly, because all of these things all the dots joined forwards, right? It's not like you're looking back thinking, oh, I can join the dots now, because you're looking backwards, as Steve Jobs would say, like you look backwards, you can join the dots. Well, no, you were joining the dots going forward, which shows that you were truly on that path and you were paying attention to the intuitive guidance that God, the universe, whatever word you want to use, was guiding you, and it was moving through you as well as for you. And that's a very rare thing at that young age to have. Because most people that age are not doing those things. They're not formulating and trying to make them better so they can make other people better and serve other people. They're just trying to basically just either be a guy or a girl at high school or college or wherever they are and just partying and doing those types of things. You're actually doing something of pure value, which is incredible. And that's why you are where you are and who you are right now, which is incredible. And the fact that you're so grateful with it all, it's humbling, dude. And I just wanted to acknowledge you for that, man. It's incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Early on in my life, you know, I was very spiritual growing up, raised Catholic, and I would pray because you want to be somebody. You want to be something so badly. You look at Michael Jordan, Ken Griffey Jr., Alex Rodriguez. I wanted to be that, and so prayer was big with me. Every Sunday, you know, locking up 7 a.m. mass, praying for health and happiness of my friends, family, and loved ones at 11. But like, you know what I mean? Like that, I just love my family so much. There was a little fear involved there but they say that that's a big part of it. Like the fear and love of just wanting to protect my family, and just that it's still so fiery, that part. So just in that, when you get these little gifts, and like with athletics, really, I just like you do something where you like amaze yourself and you step into a new echelon as being like, you know, the star in your eyes at a young age. That stuff, especially with, you know, teenagers and stuff, people picking on you and saying there was a lot of that. But like that, seriously, you overcome some of that self-belief, especially if you're treating people right and you're not, you know, I was defiant to authority, so I learned the hard way. There was a lot of bruises, you know what I mean? But looking back, that belief and also gratitude, and thanks for giving me these gifts, and thank you for this, you know, allowing me to perform at these levels. But just, it was tangible. It was providing a lot in my life, and I could not believe it. All these things. Sophomore year, I kicked a game-winning field goal that I literally, it was step out of bounds. I was so nervous. I did the sign of the cross, and I said, they quoted me in the paper after as a God made that kick. Like but it was truly what I felt. I've never been that nervous, but like that, these moments, these things that stick with you that you did do, they're so important. And then you get these things, you have confidence in yourself, and it leads you to at least take another chance on yourself in a lot of other areas. And you can deal with the failure if that's the case, because you have that confidence. But the only way you're going to grow is really keep pushing yourself and testing yourself in any area. You know, I just firmly believe that. I've lived that my whole life. So I just, it's fascinating. A lot of what, you know, to what you mentioned, Mark, is just paying attention to that and understanding even the negative stuff. They're all beautiful opportunities to learn through lessons. That's how I truly look at it now. You know, raging fires of you know, being, you know, reactive and passionate. You know, you can be controlled if you're a trigger guy. So I like, oh, I'm just high energy. No. If you want to be optimal, if you want to be those quiet, calm guys that you really look up to, Baba Ram Dass, like I just work on those things that trigger you. What is, why? You know, therapy really helped. Breath work, getting sober from alcohol was the catalyst, but that's because of moving to a location. How does temptation at the 11 out of 10 level that it was for me get replaced? Through saying, I mean, the first 3 months, nearly impossible. Doesn't even feel right. You're fighting against your will. Why do I have to do this? But you get back in that gym and you follow a system because nothing else worked. Treatment, nothing worked. Counselors saying, Sedona, this Thunder Mountain, and just sitting on this couch listening to flute music. Really, it's what led to just me getting past something that was really affecting my family and definitely affecting me, you know.
Brother, I feel you on that one. I really, really do. And you know, the emotion flows through the screen to me. Like I feel it. And I had this conversation just very briefly with you at the front end of the podcast before we started recording. I too have had these same kind of battles, and it's only when you remove yourself from those environments, because it's the environments that build that habitual kind of thing. So it's not just the battling on the inside, but you're maybe not in the same environment you used to be. So you're not in like what you would normally class as home. You're not around the same friends or family or the same social events, because you can't just go there. Because if you do, it's that trigger again. You're going to do that thing again. So you have to literally pull yourself away from that situation and put yourself somewhere completely isolated and new, so that you can be reborn into something different. And then at that moment, in that silence, it speaks to you. People don't understand that in stillness, silence speaks. You know, so when you're sat on your couch and listen to that flute music, it's speaking to you on a completely different level. And it's what enables you. And Sedona is what's enabled you to kind of transform your life and transpire to something new. So I feel that 100%, like the amount of things that I've had to stop because I was using it as either like a distraction or a crutch or something. And as you said, that part of like, why do I have to? Other people do it. Yeah, but I don't want to be like other people. Mm-hmm. I need to be different, because if I'm here to do my purpose that God, the universe, has given me, mm-hmm. this is them telling me I have to stop. Because right now, this is not going to be the way that it's going to go. I can keep going and it'll be pleasure now, but it'll be pain later. Mm-hmm. Where if I stop it now, it will be pain now, but just enormous amounts of pleasure and purpose later. Mm-hmm. You decide. It's your choice. Fork in the road, right? Which way you're going to go, left or right. Either way, the choice is yours. And it then just shows strength of character, because 99% of people will go the easy way. Only 1% go that way. Mm-hmm. And that's why there's not that many people like you, because they choose that path and not that path. And I can, as I say, I can feel that emotion, that passion coming through the screen from you about that particular journey, brother. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. My good friend, Dave Altman, 2019 in New York. I forget what we were talking about, but what he said: hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. Yeah. And that I try to remind him a little bit too much about that. It really hit home. Anytime there's like a hard, difficult, which is often you got to make it, and it usually turns. Yeah, I live by that, and tough situations are just an opportunity to grow and learn, man.
Yeah.
So funny. This is why still this day, 5 years on, when I made the plunge from going, from leaving my job to becoming self-employed, set my health coaching business, my wallpaper still go where the fear is. Yeah. Still this day, definitely. Go where the fear is. You know,
go where the fear is.
Yeah, definitely. Go where the fear is. Like every time that your back's against the wall, you make a decision: lean into it or run. Yeah, always lean in.
Yeah. So it's either face everything and rise, or fear everything and run.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. And Andy, mate, that was incredible. Like I love your story. And yeah, I just want to thank you for sharing that as well to us and the listeners, because it was deeply moving, and touched me a little bit as well of a current situation, which we, won't go into that rabbit hole now, but it's so true. And I think this is why I relate to it so much, and why me and Mark work so well, is because of our purpose and overall life mission is to help others and serve others. But health is such a big space, but so multifaceted. It's especially here in the UK, I feel like we're a little bit behind in the times with skincare and function. This is why we went down this route, didn't we, Mark? Of functional medicine, nutrition, and mindset, and spiritualism, and everything that we do, even the blood work stuff that we do with clients. Like, it's just a deeper level that most people don't really know how to go. Like, I know so many people that are still doing the basic skincare routine, but using really terrible ingredients. And I was one of them for years, until I deep dive into health and functional medicine, nutrition, and met Mark. I'm grateful I did, because we found you, mate. And when I used your products, I was like, holy shit, these are insane. Like the clay mask, and the gold serum, and the pearl cleanser, and what else have I used? Oh, yeah, everything. The hardest thing is getting it in the UK, though, for us. That's the sad thing. Being in the UK is really difficult to get. But the clay mask, mate, like I think I was tagging you at the time, using that with apple cider vinegar and doing it, you know, how you were doing it with a pestle and mortar in the morning.
Yep. I still do it.
And still this day, like, because obviously, you know, your outer skin is a reflection of the inner skin, linked by the gut. You know, we've talked about this multiple times on our podcast about the gut skin axis, but like, you've also got to nourish your skin with good stuff. And there's so many people that are still using really toxic, harmful ingredients. But you know, I'm sure we'll highlight now. But what drove you to creating the formula? And you're like, was that through trial, like obviously trial and error, but like, was something calling to you when you did it, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wanted to create pure products without the synthetic additives that I found out to be toxic. So I just, you know, early on, I didn't know about the toxic components. I did it purely from the synthetic versus natural. Like I just didn't want anything synthetic. I always just looked at it as a whole. I don't want to mention the brand, but like it just, even down to the potassium sorbate. I just, you know, these unnecessary preservatives. I would rather have a little bit less of a short shelf life and just have fresh, you know, versus canned or frozen, and just something that can be shelf stable for, you know, 3 to 4 years. No, I want to be able to share that this actually was manufactured just a couple months ago. It was on a honeycomb, ideally, and just getting extremely dynamic with, you know, I say formulas, but it was just a creation for me. You know, I just look back when I was bartending and you know, still working, that skincare was out of the picture. It was, I'd like looked forward to researching ingredients and extracts and essential oils, having phone calls and making relationships with Jason Eaton from greenclays.net, from Chelsea over at Montana UTIP. I mean, this beautiful family out in the Amazon, but like that was, and then we had to switch up. There was a whole process on one ingredient that I had like 18-month lead time just to get it in on like a decimal point for our Pro Cleanser that we had to replace. But those are the lengths that we went to on a few customer supplied ingredients. But in the beginning, customer supplied, the beginning it was just me making it for myself while I was in the industry. Like this was a total passion, creative outlet for me early on that I kind of hid, you know, and then I didn't have roommates at that point, so I could be open about it, and moved everything out of my bedroom into my living room. And this little back bedroom was my lab, where I just had an inversion table, mud mixers, cacao butter, a collection of essential oils, colostrum. I got pictures of that, luckily. But I love this. It was very interesting to me to see if I could make effective products that were better in the store shelves. It just was like it was fun for me. And then to see where we're at now, it's awesome. I do think about it sometimes. It's pretty cool. But we have such an opportunity to make, like, you know, a big impact in this world. And what I believe to be, you know, one of the top brands out there.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, brother. And I remember there was a video you posted, I don't know, it was maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, of you going through each individual product that you had, and you were listing the ingredients that were in each one. And I'm sitting there listening to these products thinking, you could eat this. Like every single product you mentioned, I'm thinking you could actually eat this. Like, as much as you're saying in that video, it's food for your skin, which I thought was genius. Mm-hmm. I'm listening to the ingredients thinking you could actually eat this. Like, it wouldn't poison you. It would actually nourish you. And I think even in that video, you showed one of your original, which I think might have ended up turning up into your night cream or something, and you'd had it for like 8 years and it still worked or something like that. I can't remember what you actually said in the video, but you showed it on the camera. I was like, that's how well it lasts. Like, that's how good this natural stuff is. Like, it's still there. Like, I don't know, like 5 years after or 6 years after you made it, whatever you said it was. I was like, this is genius. Like, you can eat it. Like, that's how natural it is.
That really, I mean, that was the goal from the beginning. And just, I want to say it so badly. I just got to talk to the legal team. I want that to be our thing, because some essential oils, even though they're organic, am I allowed to say that? Russell clay, kaolin clay. I got to get to that point to figure out like would it disrupt the respiratory system. But zeolite, bentonite, I definitely consume those.
Definitely.
So, and then everything else, pearl powder, colostrum, ginseng, organic kelp powder, which is kind of similar to like blue-green algae. I mean, that's why I did it though. And the night cream, so everything in there is, German blue chamomile. It's definitely not going to, that's the thing. Now we're using lavender, rosemary, California poppy hydrosols for a new product I'm making called curandera. I never knew these hydrosols were healing and reducing inflammation internally. I have biodynamic hydrosol from a small farm in Sebastopol, California, that is now my base for curandera. So who knows if German chamomile is beneficial internally? I was going to say, don't want to be the guy like, yeah, it's food grade, but what if it is? Like, the whole goal, and I'm so glad, I really appreciate you pointing it out, because it was 100% the intention. So clean you can eat it. Your skin's your largest organ. Treat it like another mouth. Alitura is Latin for feeding and nourishing. I've said that over 1 billion times. So like, I just want to, I'm glad you pointed that out, because I just believe it's how it should be. If you can't eat it, why would you put it on your skin? So like all of our products, I want to be able to say that as our totem, you know what I mean? So we'll see, but I promise you that is top of mind. I want people to be extremely confident. I want them to look at it and just go, and it's fun at conferences, the most discerning, first impression. I totally understand the grab and turn, eyebrows raise every time. Then the couple pumps, I just sit back and just look at the significant other. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. And then just, man, because it's all, everything really, really matters to me. So like, it's
even when we were discussing the container that it's on,
the mirror
glass, like that blew my mind. Like,
that's Egyptian apothecary right there.
Yeah, with UV penetrating the product and changing the almost like the formula around. Like, no one, especially in the UK, there's nothing like it, man. No. There's nothing like it.
And here's a really cool thing about Mirren, though. If you put it in the sun, and you probably know this already, Andy, but if you put it in the sun, the Mirren glass takes the photons of light from the sun, or the electron, should I say, and it charges whatever's inside the glass. That's why Egyptians used to put all of their herbs into Mirren glass, and they'd leave it out because it would charge it. You can put water in it, it will charge it. It just seems to pull all the electrons and protons in and just charges up whatever's inside it. So your products are not only safe because they're not going to get oxidized, but they're also going to get charged by the most health-giving thing that we've ever been gifted, which is the sun. Which I think
beautiful violet light. You nailed that. That's exactly why. Manipulating the light frequency, that's brilliant. Rather than putting toxins just to kill your entire formula, tainting all the beautiful actives that are in there. Yeah. I just trust the light. No, let's enhance that. Originally made for tomato paste, olive oil, beeswax.
Yep.
There's something about self-preserving in bee products. I have an amazing ability, antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial. You put them together, the propolis, pollen, royal jelly, honey, beeswax, and then, the cacao butter. Those are my bases. I don't have to use these synthetic emulsifiers that just are, fill up, that are pennies, 30, 40% of your formula. Now tell the story about every one of your ingredients. Yeah. People appreciate that. Tell them everything and why you used it. Right now we're working on our sunscreen, and just the base, they have a predetermined base that are already set, tested, and we'd save a lot of money on that for sure. But it had xanthan gum, and it didn't, seriously, the feel component of that, I wouldn't be able to talk about it because it's already done. It's the easy way. So I politely said, we're going to have to just, build this from scratch as a custom base, beeswax, cacao butter. And the thing is, now we got to go through the SPF testing with FDA. It's a total process, but that's how we're wired. You create one of ones, and then you shout from the mountaintops. Yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but the whole idea, you say a lot about yourself, about what you put on the shelves, I believe, as a formulator. And so I'm glad you appreciate it, because it's critical to me to have just something that makes you smile. Just, you know,
incredible. Like, yeah, it's inspiring us to develop our product, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah,
at the moment,
100%.
Where we've been tweaking it, the formula, and testing it and throwing it to clients and backwards and forwards. Like, do you try that ratio with that cacao and the vanilla? Yeah, it was a bit too much. What do you think about the date palm sugar, Mark? Yeah, I think we can add this to it. You're definitely inspiring us, dude. Like, we're very grateful for you.
Oh, of course. No, I get it, especially on the sweetener side of things. The hair splitting at the end. Oh, man. Especially when it's just you. They stopped labeling because I went over 100 revisions for our fragrance presence, and it was driving me crazy. I signed off on it 3 times. That means twice it was in quarantine, signed off on, ready to go, and they just do the last final sample that you got to sign off on. And I went twice, which never happens. I said, sorry, Susan. I'm just smelling a little baby powder. And then so they had to reverse it. And then it was vanilla. And then they finally nailed it on the 3rd one. And then it was heaven sent. When you finally nail, I'm sure you can relate. You just, oh, wow, we got, I remember pulling over at one of those parking meters, to put on the little flasher, and just being in a moment of knowing we nailed the formula. I can't put it in words because it takes a while. And if you know what you want, you know what I mean? Just your tunnel vision on that until you get it. And it'll take years. Took 6 with the meteorite scrub. 2 of those was designing a sugar cane tube that I found out had a trace element of plastic. So that was a complete waste. 2 years. I was so excited for that tube too. And then we just put it in a jar, mirror glass jar, and I love it. But it's just so funny. I could have put it in 2 years earlier. But I mean, the things that go on, and I know you guys can relate, considering the sugar component. I mean, I'm thinking about it now too for you guys. I mean, do we do a little low hand, a little coconut? Do we do a tri-level blend and get all the different elements?
We're developing Mark, you can deep dive into this as well. It's not skincare, dude. It's to do with like a goat protein that we're formulating at the minute. Just because the clients we work with, and there's nothing in the UK. There's companies obviously in the US that do something, but not to the level that we want to go into with especially a formula and the types of ingredients like the raw cacao, the Madagascan vanilla, sweetened with date palm, and it's all using naturally sweetened products, but organic in terms of the milk protein from the goat to help with digestibility. And we even go into the fact that it took me several months to find the source of that as well. Like, we're not just finding any old goat farm. We want the farmers that are being paid fairly and that they're extracting the highest quality milk. Even
regenerative farming, all that kind of stuff. It has to be from those places. It has to be. And I don't want to correct Joey on something as well. It's not just any cacao. It's ceremonial grade Peruvian cacao, because that way then when somebody drinks it, they're not getting a ceremonial dose, but they're getting enough to feel what a cacao ceremony might do to them, which would be to put them in the heart center, sit them in their feminine for a little bit. Like, that's a gift that you can give somebody. And yes, it's going to cost us more money because ceremonial grade from Peru is way more expensive than just a regular old cacao. But the gift it's going to give them when they drink it, they might not know it, but they're going to feel it. And it's just such an incredible thing to be able to gift somebody. But again, sourcing it, finding it, trusting them, like, you have to go through so many iterations of these things. And this was all born from the fact that in 2022, my body came down with an autoimmune, IBD, ulcerative colitis. And the drinks, when you're in the middle of a flare, you can't eat food. As you know, like with your wires shut, like you have to drink an elemental shake, which has got all the nutrients in. Well, they were all rubbish. They were basically just 90% sugar, dextrose, maltodextrin, sorbitol, and all these cheap fillers. And I was like, this is rubbish. And it's expensive. It's like, I don't know, like £70, so probably like $90 a week just to drink this thing. And I was like, I need to make something better because I couldn't stomach it. So I formulated my own. And I started drinking that, and it was safe, and I could digest it, and I felt good off it. And then when I started telling Joey about it, because he was part of the journey as I was going through it, because he was there when it first kind of started, we started adding little bits in and then changing the formula around and then creating another version, which was the cacao version, because I started with the vanilla version and so on. And it just births into something really, really beautiful. And unfortunately, because in the UK, we're restricted on certain things that we can get, like there are certain sugars that you guys, natural sugars in the US that you can use that we can't. So we're very restricted on what we can actually use. Like there's nowhere in the UK that we can get goat protein from. We have to get it from abroad. We have to get it from somewhere in Europe because we just don't have the facilities here for some reason. I spoke to many goat farmers here, as did Joey. So as you know, like as you mentioned about this Amazonian family where you're trying to get that one thing that just completes it. Like you have to go to the ends of the earth literally to find these things. And people don't understand that when you're formulating something like this and then you nail it and you hit it, like you were talking about your present spray. So I went to a quantum biology retreat in El Salvador in November last year. And if you've never been to El Salvador, I would highly recommend it. It's the most beautiful place in the world. It's very similar to, I guess, to where you are energetically because it's volcanic and all have you. But I was there with 30 different people. We're talking like physicians, clinicians, cardiologists, doctors, you name it. And everybody that I'm hugging when I'm there, they're like, you smell amazing. What are you wearing? And I was all like, Alitura, Alitura, Alitura. And they all went off. They're trying to find Wi-Fi somewhere going, I need to buy it. I need to buy it. So they all started buying your stuff. And they're like, do you use the face clay? I was like, yes, I use the clay. It's incredible. Like use the clay. I was like, those two things, like presence and clay, they're like my go-tos. They're the ones I've always got. They're always in my bathroom. I'm always using them. They're the ones to go to. I was like, they're my favorites out of all of them. I was like, but they're all amazing. Spend all your money. Spend all your money on these products because you're never going to go wrong. Like you literally are feeding your skin. I was like, just go for it. So just to kind of echo what you're saying, like when you had that moment when you stopped and you parked and you realized that you nailed that product, however many years later, you've got a guy you don't know at a retreat in El Salvador hugging people and they're all going, you smell incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it's funny because as well, like I've noticed this, when other people wear it, it smells different. Everybody smells different when they're wearing it, from guys to girls. Everybody smells different. It has that different kind of just different aroma to it. So everybody's, I guess, own pheromones are adding to the base of what you've made. And it's creating this another amazing smell. And I don't know if you knew that happened, but that's something that I noted when I've recommended it to people.
I've noticed that and I've heard it several times.
Yep.
I wish I could share that. I mean, it's unique. I just like to, oh man, if you had any idea just how like close to my heart this product is. I mean, that was the first box, 2 years on this thing. Soft touch, magnetic snap, like
I love that box.
Upside down.
I kept the box.
Because I used to collect fragrances. Wanted to be like my dad.
I did.
The Geo,
I did. Yeah.
Calvin Klein, Eternity, Obsession, CK1. CK1 was my first one.
Yeah.
I just liked that it was unisex. Let the customer decide.
Yep.
So boom, we went that route. I mean, we get stopped, and I love it. I've had the wait. It's people. Oh, that's because I get stopped, pretty often too, and it's just heaven on earth because nobody can wait. You just make fragrances like that. Usually it's someone else. Well, I know I own it. You can correct it really quickly, but it's just the looks. Like, oh, that's my fragrance presence. Wait, you just make fragrances? Well, no, I own a skincare line. And then I go into this talkative, I tell everyone the full story on that thing and usually end up giving them a link and giving it to them for free. I just, that is a extremely special product to me because how do you make your favorite scent? Like, no, silly. I'm not saying it's like me or anything. It's a chemist, but how do you how great if you're a scent guy and you are literally addicted to something that you can call your own and 75% organic. I know the whole hoops that we had to go through in creating that, and everybody can use it. You know what I mean? It just thank you for mentioning that. And nothing like lifts me up more than just because scent is so personal.
Of course.
And how do people online love it without even smelling it? And just the things, man, they all have their own little documentaries. They do. I mean, they all of at least a year on all of the products, but from start to finish, and most of them years, plural. but and that's action. It's not putting things on side. So yeah, sure, we have stop gaps and we solve them, but it's usually letting it sit, and if it's missing something, and then it just trusting something from above to kind of lead you in a certain direction, then it usually comes to perfection with. So yeah, this thing is, I'm just extremely grateful, man. I get to put a creative outlet into something that helps others and provides like my livelihood. Like I'm good from here on out. So I just want to do my best to be of service to others truthfully. And I think my biggest impact may be in like the addiction space. So I just want to be an ear, fly on the wall, because I did not believe I would be where I'm at now. And I'm a believer. That was my thing. And if I had one thing that I couldn't beat, it's okay. But so far we're knocking it out, and so it's possible. So I can provide a true account, boots on the ground, of just a full-on nightmare, like a gauntlet, dangerous. I'm glad I went through that. Wow.
Yeah.
It's an incredible story, brother. It really is. It's an incredible story. But I do have a question, because I want to be very, very kind of like careful with your time and respect your time. New products that you can talk about. What are some things that are coming out now that people need to know about?
Soul or sunscreen? Soul. I mean,
what a name.
Let's go, dude. So,
wow.
Just extremely excited about that. The phone calls, the breaking through, and the non-negotiables to like, but being gentle and keep coming back to that one thing that you got to have in the formula. I can only imagine what it's like being on the other end. We have our own section at SRC Labs, and I'm constantly throwing them new things and apologizing beforehand. Hey, how you doing? Hope you had a great weekend. But it's the okay. They're accepting to this. So like that, I mean, we're involving gold, manuka honey, red raspberry seed, a combination of 3 peptides that we may patent into a trinity and call it the trinity. But in tomato-based melatonin, Miracell with like a little natural rice spermicide that has like these quantifiable claims that we can add to it, and a base that's going to make you smile. Oh man. So that's one. And then curandera. Now this is, which is healer in Spanish. This is an honor because I'm working with Rafi from Omika Organica.
Okay.
The weirdo with just symbolism. I remember seeing that name, and I heard so much about him decades ago as being like a pioneer. I mean, ingredient space. And then he has products. Like I think he was the first with like the shower filter, very reserved. And I really want to highlight him in this, because first call, 92 minutes, staring at my phone, just going back and forth. Wait, what? Just Blue Lotus. He's just, and these ingredients and the purity of them and the testing behind them, and like the non-negotiable trace of any toxins, and then providing like new ingredients that I hadn't heard of, but a true source of Boswellia, a true source of organic Blue Lotus paste powder. Wow. Or an extract, which one, take your pick. So all 3 in this formula all have different components. And so I just finally, I want to have a noticeably effective product that makes you feel, that relaxes you, makes you feel good.
But you're going to get that with Blue Lotus, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But the truth, it's so hard to find.
It is.
We got it. I mean, yeah, Rafi's an amazing human being. The first few weeks were just like, wow, I'm really doing this. I'm working with Rafi. This is amazing. So it's just, he's very busy, just militant about his ingredients, which I love. I've learned a lot talking to him, and a lot more than formulation or business, a lot of other things too. So just working with someone that I looked up to and I knew of way before this is an honor. So it's an adaptogenic tonic. It's going to be like liposomal, 2 ounce, 60 ml. Oh, and the big part, working with an artist on the label right now. So we're getting this beautiful like Blue Lotus leaf for curandera, and then Soul, this gold sun with he's an artist like that I met out here in Sedona. I would show you someone's work. It's just insane. And so every component of this is lining up to be something as special as it should be. So that's how it, I mean, everything beforehand, you got to get better as you grow. And this is going to be an example and my chance to show that we have, you know, with 2 dynamic products that are going to be extremely, special.
Oh, I'm pumped for those.
You've already sold it to us.
You know,
just so, because we've got a lot of listeners from the UK as well. What are some of the best places to source Alitura now? Because some of the websites that I was purchasing from, they're no longer doing it. But where would you recommend?
Hey, we're on Amazon now. Hey,
really?
Amazon UK.
Oh, what?
Hey,
okay. All right.
A lot of compliance, regulatory. We got in there. So that's a great area. And then always going to give love to Functional Self. Warren,
yes, love Functional Self.
Right. Nice.
Warren and Brad are incredible.
Yeah.
So Functional Self. Let's see. Is Aggressive Health?
Yeah, they just changed their name. They used to be called Aggressive Health.
Yeah.
Right.
Mike Nash.
That's it.
Brad Ralph. Yeah, good. Just, hey, you know, just our partners that have been with us since day one. And those are 2 of them. Amazing people.
Functional Self are great. Well, they didn't stock it for a while. I was a little bit sad, but then, hearing that they're back on, that's cool. That's good.
And we really want to, you know, the goal is to get into like prime UK. It's just it's, you know what I mean. The loading of inventory it's just a lot. It's a whole different beast in UK, Europe, all that. But hey, you know, we're excited for the beautiful challenge just to get that, because it'd be nice to, you know, just have like what we're doing in the States with Amazon into all the different Amazons all around the world. Why not?
Agreed. Why not? Yeah, dude, that's the dream. Let's make it happen. It's got to happen.
Yes.
I think if that's the goal, that's the path. You're going to be led that way, brother, because your stuff needs to be experienced. That's the way I would say it. It's not used. It's an experience. It's totally different. You know, you use other products, but your stuff, it's an experience, and it's a beautiful one at that. So I think, again, God, universe, whatever word you want to use, is going to drive that for you, and it's going to take you where it needs to be so that everybody in the world can use it, because it's a gift. It truly is.
I really appreciate you saying that. I mean, the way I look at it, I remove that thing so I can share in confidence just who I am, what I'm about, without any little thing in the head going, you partied over the weekend. No, but that was something I had to, you know, it was in my head to remove that and just, all right, here I am. Here's what I'm about. Alitura will, you know, be a big part of that, but being able to show up in your skin and just feel good about yourself and then share passions, man. I appreciate you saying that, because that's what I see and feel, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Joe, do you have any closing thoughts before we let this beautiful human being go and do his day?
Andy, I just want to say thank you so much for your time, brother. Like, it's everything that we wanted from today. And no, we're extremely grateful for you. And I'm extremely grateful for Mark as well, because he was the one who told me about your company, and it's what's driving us. You're like your energy, your enthusiasm, your passion for your business. And it's definitely sparked an interest for the stuff that we're creating as well. We can't wait to create our stuff, and we'll definitely send a product out to you as well. I can't wait. But that's what I'm going to end with. It's just big thank you, mate, and extremely grateful for your time. And we cannot wait to share this episode with people who, again, need to hear about Alitura in the UK, because we've got nothing like it, you know. More and more people need to get away from the synthetic and the artificial crap that is plaguing our industry, and need to return back to whole ingredients, organic, natural, to feed the skin, to make their lives so much better, because it's had a profound effect on your life, and it has an extremely profound effect on mine and my confidence to speak and do what I do. Your skin, if you're not feeling, you know, internally great because your health's not great, and you're spending a lot on skincare that isn't working, you gotta check out Alitura, is what I'm gonna say. But Mark, do you have anything to add?
I just want to acknowledge this man because he's brought he's probably brought the biggest energy to this podcast I think I've ever felt, and you're all the way over where you are, and it's tangible through the screen. Obviously, in a quantum realm, we are all together. There is no separation, but I just want to acknowledge you for your work, brother. Like, it truly is a blessing to witness and to hear you speak about it. And I just want to say thank you for giving up your time and sharing your story. So just to say thank you for that.
Oh man, I want to thank both of you for this opportunity. I haven't had this much joy aside from a podcast. Just I needed this. Thank you. I feel incredible. Thank you for the opportunity to just share a little bit about something I care so much about. And you two are brothers. I can't wait to meet you in person, hopefully in a conference in the UK. Let's go. Health Optimization Summit. I went there with 2022. I'll come right back. We're actually going this weekend from Tim's conference out here in Austin. But
I was supposed to be there. I was one of their hosts. Yeah, but I couldn't make it out, unfortunately. But come to the one in London at the end of the year.
Okay. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. So maybe we cut out Florida. I mean, with all due respect, Eudaimonia, I'm telling you, Health Optimization Summit UK was like very similar to the feeling, and that was 2022, of like the first Bulletproof. I mean, just the vibration was fun. I love the UK. So I hope to see you guys in person soon. And truly, thank you for the opportunity here. That was lovely.
Lots of love, man.
Our pleasure, brother. Much love. Guys, that is Andy Hnilo from Alitura. Please leave your comments below. We'll put all the links to help find this man and where you can purchase his products in the description box below. And until next time, we will see you then. Stay blessed, everybody. Take care.